Perfect, done. Okay, so some of you may know it is anti-bullying week this week. Oh, someone's still entering. Give me 1 second. It's anti-bullying this week. So the Premier League and Saints Foundation have asked me to deliver an assembly on anti-bullying. The first things first, what do we understand about bullying at the moment? So I'm just going to give you a minute in your classes. Teachers, if we could use the chat function to put some answers in. I'm just going to give a minute at the moment to see what we know about bullying already. What do we already know about bullying? Go on, discuss it in your classes.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what answers we get.
So on your sheet,
it's continuous. Thank you, Mrs. Homewood.
Oh no, you don't have to do anything yet.
Hurting other people's feelings, being mean to people.
Oh, what's bullying?
It can hurt people. Mrs. Talbot, are you okay to mute? Cyberbullying is a type of bullying. It's wrong. Pushing, kicking, hurting someone with words or actions, mental and physical. Name calling, fighting. Mr. Dixon's class, that's really key, isn't it? It's the over and over again.
Yes, we'll come on to that in just a second. Oh, does it every single day? Okay.
It can be racial. Thank you, Mr. Dixon's class. We had a long chat about that yesterday, didn't we? So I'm glad that we remembered that. Negative
weight, very sad. Okay, very, very good answers, everybody. Constantly, again, that's key.
Okay, we can start entering answers now. Well done, fantastic. Back to you, Cam.
So I'm just going to share my screen quickly here. Ooh. Show from front side. So bullying is the repetitive, intentional hurting of one person or a group by another person or group. So the key word here, and a lot of you picked this out, so well done, is repetitive. If something happens just one time, then it's not bullying. If someone's unkind and they hurt your feelings once in a playground, that can't count as bullying. It has to be repetitive. So we touched on that. Somebody said almost every day, somebody said over and over. So it's really, really good that we had that understanding. It also has to be intentional. That's quite a key word in this definition. Things can't be an accident with bullying. Bullying is very intentional. It's very deliberately hurting somebody's feelings. So if somebody...
on key stage 2, that means on purpose.
Somebody accidentally trips you or accidentally pushes you in a playground, this can't count as bullying. They have to be purposefully trying to hurt your feelings, doing it on purpose. Another thing you guys came onto, which is really, really good, is that there's different kinds of bullying. So it's good that we're already aware of those. It can be physical, verbal, or psychological, and it can be online as well. So it can be cyberbullying, which we will come onto in just a second. So verbal bullying. This is name calling, calling people unkind names and threatening violence. So if somebody is just verbally being unkind to you, saying very unkind things over and over, then that's a type of bullying. It can be physical, so it can involve hitting, kicking, biting, pushing, gripping, anything that is done to hurt you physically, so to hurt your body. If this is happening over and over, then that again is bullying. This next one, indirect bullying, this is one that isn't spoken about as often, but can be just as upsetting and just as harmful. So it can hurt somebody's feelings, it can be deliberate, can be on purpose, and it can be repetitive, just leaving somebody out, not letting someone play with you at lunchtime, making sure that they're not included in certain things that you know they'd like to be included in. This is a type of bullying as well, and this one comes under that psychological we spoke about before, so it's more mental. But it's leaving people out is the main takeaway from that, I would say. And the last one we have to be aware of is cyberbullying. So just because you are not seeing somebody there in person, it doesn't mean they can't be bullying you. They can be bullying you with nasty messages, prank calls, they can be putting things on the internet about you. So it's very, very key that we're aware of cyberbullying as well. Now, there are different roles when it comes to bullying. These are the two most obvious roles you can see on my screen at the moment, on your screen at the moment. There's a ringleader, a bully who is usually initiating the bullying, usually starting the bullying. So you could say it's their idea. They're the one with the ideas. They're the ones kicking off the bullying. And the target is the person they're aiming their bullying at. But now there are going to be some other roles that come up here that you might not have thought of or might not know about. but some of you might have even played a part of some of these before. So we're going to just go into a little bit more depth on them. So a reinforcer. This is somebody who just supports the bullying. They might laugh at the bully making an unkind comment. So if a bully says to a target something mean and somebody next to them laughs, that is reinforcing the bullying. And actually you're not doing anything to stop it. You are kind of encouraging it indirectly to continue. So we do not want to be reinforcers. Assistants. This is someone who is actively involved in the bullying. So a ringleader might say to an assistant, "Oh, it would be funny if you just pushed his pencil case on the floor," or something along these lines, something unkind. And the assistant might actually go and do it, not realizing they're being involved in bullying, because to them it's not continuous. Maybe they haven't seen it before, but just think about whether what you're doing is kind, whether you'd want it done to you. And then that's a way to avoid being an assistant. This is the one I would like everybody to be. So we would like you all to be defenders. A defender stands up for somebody being bullied. They know that it's wrong, and then they feel confident enough to do something about it, which is a very key part, because it's not always easy to feel confident enough to do something, especially if a bully is quite intimidating. But hopefully, if we can recognize what bullying is, and we all know that it's wrong, we'll feel confident enough to stand up and say, actually, I don't agree with what you're doing. It might involve talking to an adult in school. So quite often, if bullying is ongoing and it is getting progressively worse, or if it's getting to a point where you feel an adult needs to be involved, then I would go and tell an adult. If you think you are recognizing bullying, then I would go and involve an adult. Outsiders. An outsider is someone who might look at a situation and think, that's nothing to do with me, I don't want to get myself involved. So I'm not a part of this, I'm not going to get involved. But what would someone in Mr. Burt's class, can you share for me, what would be a problem if everybody was an outsider? If we all just looked at it and thought, that doesn't involve me, so I'm not going to get involved, what might the problem be?
Yeah, so Layla said that the one person being bullied would just continually be being bullied until they can take no more.
Thank you very much for that response, Layla. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. It wouldn't stop. If everybody was an outsider and we all just saw it and ignored it, thought that's not my problem, then who's going to be the one to put an end to it? And the bullying would carry on and carry on. So that's a lovely answer. Thank you, Layla. There's just a little recap for us, but we really want you all to be defenders rather than outsiders, reinforcers, or assistants. Now, at the start, I said we all want to be united against bullying, just so that we're all sure what I mean by united. I just mean that we're all on the same team. So that definition number one probably isn't as important. Definition number two is we all agree on it. And this is something we can all agree on. We all agree that we're against bullying. Nobody's sitting there thinking, oh, I support bullying. It doesn't happen. We're all united in that way, and we all are against bullying. And this should just help us, again, recognizing some of those key features that make something bullying, and then helping us all to put a stop to it and be those defenders we spoke about before. Okay, so now I'm just going to change my screen slightly. I've got another one. I'm just going to give us some scenarios, and in your classes, I'm going to send you away just to discuss whether these are bullying or whether maybe they're not quite bullying, even if they are still unkind. So this is the first one. You and the other pupils on your table keep throwing away one child's pencil case. It happens every day and the child finds it very annoying, making them angry. I'm going to ask you now, can we just use the chat function again, please, teachers? Is this bullying? And if it is, how do we know whether it's bullying or not? What makes us know?
Key stage 2, I'm really impressed with how you're engaging with this assembly. Thank you.
So does this count as bullying, first of all, and how do we know? Good. I think most of us are getting that. Perfect. So we've picked out the key word here. The key bit is every day. So it's every day, and it is intentional. They're not accidentally knocking a pencil case off. It's over and over again. So it's every day, and I would say that this does count as bullying. Oh, sorry, we're just going to skip Okay, during a PE lesson, your team wins a game of football and you celebrate in front of the other team by laughing and joking about the score. The other team get angry. Now, does this count as bullying? So this might not be a particularly kind action, but does this count as bullying? See what we think. Yes, so I would have said no, which is generally what we're getting. Interesting, in Mrs. Talbot's class, we put yes and no. Can anybody in that class explain what we meant by that? It's all right if not, I can't actually see you.
You say what you thought. Advait thought it was bullying because the other team were getting angry. So we had some children who agreed with Advait, and then we had some children who said no. So that's why we said both.
Okay, interesting one. A lot of the other classes have gone with no. I'd be inclined to agree with no. And I understand your point that the other team got angry and it possibly wasn't kind. But there's two issues here. One, it might not have been deliberate. Maybe they were just celebrating because they were happy they won. So it might not be deliberate. And two, it's one action. If it was every single PE lesson and they were deliberately celebrating in front of one child because they knew that that child didn't like to lose, it might be a different situation. But in this situation, it's just one lesson and they might not even be doing it deliberately. So I would go with no. I'll go with what everyone else has said in that one. And I think we all recognize that, which is really, really good to see. We'll just do a couple more. Ooh, hang on. Okay, this one's a bit of an interesting one. You hear someone you thought was a friend has been spreading a cruel and untrue rumor about you. First of all, is this bullying? And this is a bit of a tricky one because I think I'll see what you say, but is this bullying? And secondly, what would you do in this situation? Okay, so I think we're all getting the idea that for something to count as bullying, it really has to be repetitive, has to be regular. So this one is a tricky one because we don't really know. If it's one rumor, I would say that really isn't bullying. It's unkind, and that's not bullying. And then maybe this changes our response to it. So if it's one rumor, maybe I wouldn't tell an adult straight away. Maybe I could go and confront the person and say, actually, I really didn't like what you said about me, so I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to go and play with someone that isn't spreading rumors about me, isn't being unkind about me. And then if that person continues to do that and they spread more rumors and they don't stop, at this point, it becomes bullying. I think we understand that from your answers. I think we understand at that point, if it's continuous, then it's become bullying, and then we should tell an adult. Then we'll go get a trusted adult involved, because at this point now we are dealing with a bullying situation. But I think you've showed that you understand that really, really well, which is nice. I was going to do one more, but I think we're slightly short on time, so I'm going to leave that one there just for now. What I now have for you guys then is just a quick task. So you might not have time to do it now. In fact, I don't think you will. But this is you should all have one of these. Teachers, I don't know if you've handed them out yet, but it's okay if you haven't. These are our United Against Bullying puzzle pieces. So this is a competition of sorts from Saints. So they've asked to send them out and you guys to design your own puzzle pieces there of what part you'll play against bullying. So I will just give you a couple of examples of how this can look, because it can be words, it could be pictures, it could be, oh, where is it gone? It could be words, pictures, or just symbols. And you can design it however you want. So if you're quite creative, then this should really be something that you would enjoy doing. Where is it gone? Unfortunately, I can't show you. I did have some examples, but they're not loading for whatever reason. But in other schools, I've seen children draw themselves as defenders, as if they were a superhero. I've seen children draw image of what they thought bullying looked like with words such as no to bullying and be kind and things along these lines. So it's really your choice on how you want to design it. And next week when I come in, I'll come and have a little look at the ones you've done, so you can do those on your own time. I'll come have a look and see what you guys came up with, and hopefully you can come be nice and creative and come up with some really, really good stuff. That is 12:30, so I'm going to have to leave that one there, but thank you very much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that assembly.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Key stage 2, think of everything that Cameron said today. I think for me, the key thing was about the not being an outsider, because I think if you stand by and watch bullying happening, okay, that is something that we really wouldn't want it for Andrew Lane. So make sure, remember, you tell an adult that you trust, okay? And I was really pleased to see Mr. Garron's word, that trusted adult, okay? Right, have a lovely lunchtime, Key Stage 2. I'm going to put our music back on, and then Cameron will end our meeting for us, okay? Have a lovely lunchtime.
Thank you.